Baha Mar is a huge resort in Nassau and is kind of like a little bit of Vegas with the casino, and it has kind of an all-inclusive feel with all of the pools and restaurants. It's not an all-inclusive, but there's a lot to do here. A water park, like I said, pools, restaurants, obviously beach, and so we're going to show you everything that you need to know so that you can enjoy your time here at Baha Mar, or if you're not thinking about coming here, maybe you just need a little virtual escape. For transportation, if you want to, Baha Mar has their own transportation, so you can pay them to bring you to and from the hotel. They have a really nice little building within the airport, which is nice. It's just kind of like a little welcome area. It's very, very large and easy to find when you get off of your plane. We did not go with Baha Mar's transportation because even though it's probably the most convenient option, it was $75 per way. Baha Mar is about 10 minutes from the airport, and outside of the airport there are taxis lined up and ready to take you. We found a taxi very, very easily, and it was only like $35 per way. It was even easy to get into the taxi with kids. So that was the best option for us. But do whatever you're comfortable with. We really appreciated saving that money. Taxis also line up in the front of this hotel, so they're easy to grab on the way back as well. When you get to Baha Mar, you are given a little wristband, and that is how you get into everything that requires you to be a guest to get into, like the water park. It's also attached to a credit card, so that's how you pay for everything. It's also your hotel room key, so it is your whole life while you're at Baha Mar. It's really convenient, other than the fact that ours got disconnected to our hotel room once. That was kind of annoying, but other than that, it's actually a really convenient way of getting around the resort.
Okay, so this is one large resort area. There's a bunch of different kind of resorts and hotels you can stay in, but they kind of share all the same amenities, like pools and just different activities you can do, jet ski rentals, all that kind of stuff.
So we're at the Hyatt. Which tower are we in?
We're in the West Tower. Yeah.
So we're in the Hyatt, which has two very large towers. We have a very nice view right here of the SLS, and then there's also the Rosewood, and I'll go over all of those different options. So the SLS is more of the like party crowd. When we were here Saturday, it was so loud.
Yeah, you could hear music playing. It was pretty cool. I mean, it was good music though, so it was
I think
fun.
we could hear it from the airport. I don't know. It was so good and loud. And kids, they told us that kids are not allowed at that like beach club that's like a younger party crowd. The Hyatt is kind of the middle ground. It's still pretty fancy. And then the Rosewood is the most exclusive. So the Rosewood actually does have a pool that only guests of the Rosewood can access. But other than that, you can access anything. All three properties have access to all of the pools, all of the restaurants, things like that. And then Hyatt does have two towers, the East Tower and the West Tower. The only real difference is the decoration. So the two Hyatt Towers are connected in the middle by a pretty large casino. This is where we won when we were there. It gets busy, it's a fun and exciting environment. So if you like to gamble, you're gonna love that aspect of Baha Mar. Obviously you come here for the pools and things like that, but I think one of the other coolest amenities is the water park. You can see it really great from our balcony. That almost might be the best way to show you.
Yeah, it's right here. You can kind of see the like slide. You can see it right here coming down, but yeah.
There's some slides, there's a kitty, not like a cat, but for kids area, and there's also a beach club, which isn't like the club like the SLS. It's more of a calm, like private area where you can rent cabanas and things like that. Yeah. We did that, so we'll show you that and tell you more about that too. If you are reserving a daybed or a lounger or a cabana, you'll just do that in the app. It's really easy. You'll even pick which one you want. So they don't assign you which daybed or lounger. You literally pick from a map which one to reserve. So that's kind of fun too. You get to choose your view. You can book right next to your friends, whatever you want. The only thing I forgot to mention about this is that the beach club opens at 10 but does not start serving food and drinks until 11. So you do have about an hour where you cannot have food or drinks because the restaurant isn't open yet. So just keep that in mind based on what you have planned for your day. That might be important, it might not.
The area that you like rent day beds and chairs and stuff, way cool. I would say it's worth it. There's, you know, wait staff, whatever, comes right to your thing, and you just chill out. You can sit in chairs that are in the pool too. You'll see all of that stuff, but it's really, really cool. It's definitely worth it in my opinion.
The beach club, you can rent, like I said, loungers or day beds. They also have, what are they called? Like they're cabanas, right?
Yeah. I mean,
so the cabanas are a little bit of a different experience, but the day beds and the loungers cost $200, and then there's like the service fee that they get added on, so it's $250 all in all. Someone had mentioned that it was $300, so I don't know if maybe that price changes when it's like a busier season or something like that. But with the day beds and the loungers, the loungers are $100 per person, so basically the same price because the day bed has 2 people. Kids under 11 can join you though. When you spend that money on the daybed or on the lounger, whatever money you spend on that, so $250 for us, goes towards your food and drink. So essentially we were able to get $250 for free from 25 North, which is the restaurant that's located like right there.
Yeah. Which might sound like quite a bit to spend on food and drink, but it is not. Everything here is out of control expensive.
Yes.
So I think we got 2 drinks yesterday, just regular drinks. Like I think I got like a 7 and 7. She got a Malibu Diet. It was $50. That was before tip. Everything's crazy expensive.
There is no secret that Baha Mar is really expensive, and it's good to know that before you go so that you're not disappointed. If you're prepared, it won't be a big deal other than just kind of the shock of how expensive everything is. My suggestions to save money: you can bring your own food. That's what we did. We didn't want to have to deal with stopping somewhere, so we just kind of brought what we could, stuffed it into our suitcases, no big deal. But another thing that's really easy is that the taxis will stop at the grocery store for you. They're used to this request. Whether you're using a taxi, whether you're using the Baha Mar transportation, or whether you have like a private taxi driver, they're all used to it and they're willing to do that. They usually charge an extra $5 or so to do that, but it will save you so much money in the long run that small charge is basically nothing.
So you'll burn through it quick, you know, whatever. But we were able to eat lunch and dinner there yesterday. So it was cool to have like our own little spot and like a kind of like a home base a little bit that you can kind of cruise around. It's not like they're coming and like removing stuff and other people take it when you're gone. You rent that same spot the whole time, so no one's there messing with it or anything like that. In fact, we left our GoPro there yesterday. I ran down like 2 hours after we left and it was just still chilling, like nobody. I mean, they clean it at the end of the day. They take all the towels out and everything, but yeah.
It's open from 10 to 5, which it's located at the very front of the water park. The water park is open from 10 to 5, so that's the same hours that you get to enjoy the daybed. I think from a budget perspective, it was nice to know about how much money we would be spending on meals, but this is definitely a great place for foodies. There's a lot of really nice restaurants here. I highly recommend downloading the Baha Mar app. It's just in the App Store, super easy to download. It has a map of the property. It has a place where you can make your restaurant reservations as well as any pool, chair reservations you might want, cabanas, things like that. It's super easy to use, and especially on the property because you're always gonna have your phone on you. So if you get that app, you're gonna want to make your restaurant reservations prior to your arrival. Some of them can book up a month in advance, and that is also at the time of this video when the restaurant reservations open. So you can book up to 30 days in advance. on property to save money, I recommend eating at the food trucks. They are reasonably priced for the property, not reasonably priced compared to anything else, but for the property, that's where you're gonna get the best bang for your buck. If you're gonna rely on the food trucks to save money, just watch when they close. We thought that they closed at 6 and got there one night at 5 and they were already closed for the day. So if that's something that you're betting on, you're gonna wanna know ahead of time. Most of the restaurants, actually almost all of the restaurants on property are reservation, highly recommended. Not necessarily recommending reservation only, but some of them you're gonna have a hard time getting a spot, especially if you're there on a busy night, if you don't have a reservation. And there's not a lot of options on the property to get food to like bring back to your room. So that's good to know. Another thing you could do is that they do have Starbucks, and the Starbucks prices are pretty similar to where you would get Starbucks anywhere. And so you could get like a breakfast sandwich or something like that as a meal to save a little bit of money there. Another way that you can save a little bit of money is that the Pizza Lab is a restaurant at Baha Mar, and they have pizza by the slice for $10, at least at the time of this video. And that's not necessarily a steal literally anywhere else in the world, but that's really reasonably priced for Baha Mar. A lot of people told me that it was going to be very busy here. It's a big resort. It makes sense that it would be, that there would constantly be people here, and it's not busy. And I don't know if I was just like mentally preparing for it to be chaos kind of because of how people said it.
Yeah.
But it's not busy here.
Ramps everywhere. Everything is smooth. Like you can stroll around anywhere if you're wheelchair, whatever.
Yes.
Everything is super nice with that. There's tons of ramps and everything. Obviously there's steps in some places, but the ramps are just as easily accessible. They've really done a good job of making it wheelchair friendly, and obviously for our case, stroller friendly. So.
The other thing I really like with kids is that there are lifeguards at the pools. We found Baha Mar to be extremely family friendly, extremely kid friendly. Most of the restaurants have a kids menu where kids under the age of 5 eat free. Actually, it's 5 and under eat free. A couple of the restaurants do not have that, so just double check before you go if that's something that's important to you. But I thought that that was really cool and kind of another way of saving money as well. If you're bringing kids and wondering about a stroller, I definitely recommend bringing a stroller unless you know for sure that your kids are going to like to walk. It can be a lot of walking. It's a really big resort. Our kids are really little. They're only 3 months and 13 months, and so we definitely needed a stroller. If they're a little bit older, you know, maybe they would be more okay walking, but we would not have had a good time without having our stroller.
Just got done with a pretty gnarly rainstorm. As you can see here, we got a pretty cool rainbow. But yeah, it's rained twice since we've been here. Pretty hardcore, but it's really short. I mean, and it's cool to be like up in your room and like have the balcony view of just like a crazy storm. Chelsea got some really cool footage on like a time lapse thing. It was really, really cool.
The weather. I know that a lot of people post like, oh my gosh, it's going to rain the whole time I'm there, what do I do? And then it will rain maybe, but like for maybe an hour tops, right? Like it's kind of like Florida where it's like says that it's going to rain, and you might have a day with a lot of rain, but I would say that it's probably unlikely. More than likely it's going to say it's going to rain, but really it's not going to be all day. That's been our experience, and that's our experience in Florida as well, which is pretty close. Now, how many days should you spend there? We were there from a Saturday until a Tuesday. So obviously we got in Saturday in the afternoon, left Tuesday like late morning. So 2 full days, and then like maybe another full day between the 2 half days or so. I feel like that was enough time for us. We maybe would have liked another day, but keep in mind that in our situation, it's really easy for us to get there. I paid for this hotel on points, and so the hotel was free for us. And from Fort Lauderdale, it's literally, it says it's a 50-minute flight, but it felt like 30 minutes. So it's extremely easy for us to get to the Bahamas. If you're coming from somewhere far away and it takes a full day to travel, you might want to stay longer. I think your budget is going to be the biggest determination in how long you want to stay, because again, it's really expensive. So that's our experience. I would have loved another day, but we were happy with how long we got to be there as well. The property has more pools than you could even imagine. There are so many pools. Some are adults only, some are very, very kid friendly. Now, it seems like the pools close at 5. We did talk to a lifeguard who said that it's just that the lifeguards quit lifeguarding at 5, so it's at your own discretion after 5. That seems a little bit controversial in the research I've done, so I'm not really sure which it is. We never needed the pool past 5, so that wasn't really an issue to us, but that is a complaint that I have heard from others who have gone to Baha Mar in the past. They wished that the pools were open later. I've also heard mixed reviews as to whether people get in trouble for trying to get into the pool after 5. Some people said no one said anything, it's totally fine. Other people have said that they've been asked to leave. So I think that that might be kind of like a case-by-case basis, but officially the pools do close at 5. You can drink the tap water here, but it does not taste very good. We actually brought some water, like huge things of it, because we didn't want to have to buy any, and we did not need to do that. The housekeeping brings bottled water by every day, so that's good. But yeah, you can also drink the tap water if you want to. It just wasn't very good. Okay, that's it for our tips on visiting Baha Mar in Nassau, Bahamas. Hopefully this was helpful. It's a great resort, and I think sometimes I planned too much and kind of got worried about things I didn't need to be worried about. So hopefully I just gave you enough information to have a good time without worrying too much. Knowing what to expect ahead of time, especially with the budget and making restaurant reservations, and especially the cabanas, that was extremely helpful in making sure that we were prepared and had a great trip. I hope you have a great trip too, and if this was helpful, let us know in the comments and give this video a thumbs up. If you're subscribed, we will be so excited to see you next time.